of the Convention on Biological Diversity, Egypt succeeded in facing all the challenges imposed by the global conditions presented by the spread of the coronavirus pandemic. She said that Egypt's presidency of the conference extended by 3 years, the longest period in the history of the agreement, adding that during these years, Egypt was able to put Africa's issues on the world's priorities.
Joining us over the phone is Dr. Ayman Abdel Wahab, a UN Environmental Affairs Senior Advisor, and he's going to be telling us a bit more about the importance of the summit and the outcomes. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon.
What are the main challenges that face the world when it comes to biodiversity?
Well, actually, yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Well, to start with, the term biodiversity, we repeat this term so many times every day, but we just have to agree what is biodiversity. Biodiversity is the abundance of different species,
yes.
The health of different species of animals, plants, insects, and even the ecosystems, different ecosystems. And the importance of this summit lies in putting, the word of action. And actually, Egypt was the first to lay the ground in the Summit of Biodiversity in 2018, when President Abdel laid the ground by putting a framework for protecting the biodiversity worldwide. If we think about biodiversity, we have to look at it as a network. It's a network connecting all creatures together. Everybody is connected together, and human being is just one species among all other creatures. And we don't have to decide which creature to live and which creature to die. Yeah. And if we think of this interwoven network, it all depends on each other. If part of it fails, maybe we have a complete collapse in the system.
Yes.
And if we just look at the past 50 years, 70% of the biodiversity has gone.
Yes.
We're talking about 70% during the past 50 years. And the 50 years in the age of Earth is a blink of an eye.
Yes.
Just a blink of an eye. And if we move in the same direction, we are threatening the extinction of human beings. So it's not a matter of luxury that we want beautiful forests and flowers, and no, we are talking about the existence
survival
of ourselves.
Yes.
So this is very serious.
Yeah, obviously biodiversity or preserving biodiversity comes hand in hand with climate change as well. Am I correct in the statement?
You are absolutely correct. Actually, the climate change is one sign of the negative impact that's taking place because of the degradation of biodiversity. By wiping forests, by turning agricultural land, by turning forests into arid land, all these systems, they protect our planet against hurricanes, against flash floods, and moreover, it's not just the climate change, but what we are suffering from now as planet Earth, which is COVID-19, it's one sign of degradation of biodiversity, because all these kinds of microbes, viruses, animals, they are living together in harmony and in a very delicate balance. And when human being interrupted its habitat, we call it a virus jump.
Yes.
So this virus has jumped from animals, from forests, and tried to find a new host. And this new host happens to be human beings. So we're talking about a new era of diseases, of catastrophes, and we have to be very clear about that, and we have to make awareness to everybody to know that we are causing this problem, and we should be part of the solution, because we are responsible of what's happening on planet Earth.
I've read several articles about this as well, and it spoke about how the coronavirus is not a one-off pandemic, and we should be expecting more and more of this sort of thing if we continue in the course that we are going in as the human race is right now when it comes to pollution and industrialization and deforesting and all of that. Is this a true statement? And if, you know, reforestation happens and we try to help with biodiversity, will we see a decrease in this amount of pandemics that we're going to see in the near future?
Well, this is absolutely correct. And if we don't preserve at least 30% of forest and 30% of ocean, we are going to reach what we call the non-returning point. The non-returning point is very serious, and the spread of diseases will be horrific. We are going this is just the beginning, and it's going to accelerate very rapidly. By conserving the biodiversity, we are standing in a policy insurance, an insurance policy. This will ensure the safety of our natural resources. We depend on the natural resources. Nature doesn't need us. We need nature. So we have to be very careful to utilize the resources very, very wisely. Nature provides us with food sources, with medicine from plants. Everything we get from nature. So we don't have to forget that. It provides us with oxygen.
Yes.
The forests are the sink of carbon dioxide. And when we clear off these forests, we release carbon dioxide and we aggravate the climate change problem and so on. So it's all linked together. It's all linked together in a very delicate balance. And if we interrupt this balance to a point, then there is no turn back. And we might be in great danger of being like the dinosaur and the dodo, and we don't want to reach this point at all. Do we?
Yes. As president of the 14th session of the UN Conference on Biological Diversity, what steps did Egypt take, and what are the most important achievements that were done during this time?
Well, actually, I consider Egypt as one of the pioneering countries in taking the biodiversity issue very seriously. And President Abdel announced this very clearly since 2018 and started putting this into action by putting an action plan for conserving biodiversity and making biodiversity cross-cutting all different sectors in Egypt. Yes. And as he mentioned, that we are very wise in conserving our natural resources, especially the River Nile, which is you know the vein of life in Egypt. We have a very strong program for conserving the protectorate, and we are really doing things on ground. And the Ministry of State for Environmental Affairs is one of the strongest ministries of environment all over the world, being in different places of the world. We have a very strong ministry. We have a very strong law. The environment law is very strong. And what we need, if we talk about global-wise, we have to think, and I think this should be one of the recommendations that Egypt should take the initiative to put it in front of the summit, which is to form some kind of enforcement of the biodiversity framework. Unless there is enforcement, unless these frameworks are converted into laws, nothing will be done on ground, and it will be just ink on paper. And we don't want that. We want actions. We want actions on ground to protect our planet Earth, to protect ourselves, and to secure a better future for generations to come.
Okay, unfortunately, we're out of time. So, Dr. Ayman Abdel Wahab, UN Environmental Affairs Senior Advisor, thank you so much for highlighting the importance of biodiversity and how we can conserve the planet and hopefully in the near future save our planet. This brings us to the end of this coverage of today's events, but stay tuned for more on ILTV.